Okay people, this is himself and welcome to another Armor King guide for Tekken 7. In this video we're going to look at all the changes he got in Season 3 and ask ourselves, did he get ninja buffed? Let's start off with change number 1, 2-1. This was -2 on block and +5 on hit, but now it's -1 on block and +7 on hit. Now the first part I think is a minor buff. Anything you would do at -1, you probably could have done with -2. The second part though is a major buff. Before you were at +5, so your frame trap was DF1 or DB2. Now you're at +7, so you can use DF2. This tracks in both directions and on a counter hit you get a launch. An alternative is F+2-1. In Season 2 this would clash with a jab, so the second hit wouldn't come out. Now it won't, so you can actually get a wall splat. To mix things up, you can use D3. This is 17 frames, so it can be interrupted, but if they do that, then they risk getting counter hit. It's also +1 on hit, so you get the advantage. Now D3 was also buffed in Season 3, but I'm going to cover that later. Change number 2, F+2-1. They increase the strength of the pushback to reduce the chances of the character switching places. Now this is more of a bug fix than anything else. Basically at the wall, the second hit would sometimes cause the opponent to fly behind you, and that was unfair on Armor King. Now that shouldn't happen as often, if at all. Change number 3, F343. They changed the damage from 15, 13, 22 to 17, 10, 23. They also changed the input window for the third hit from 18 to 24 frames, and they allow you to cancel it by hitting back. Now with the first change, the total damage of the string is still the same, but when you combine that with the second change, this is actually a buff. When the first hit is a counter hit, you get a spark, and because the input window has now been extended, you can now hit confirm the last kick. Because of that, this is actually a decent option near the wall, especially after a blocked lariat. Here you're at +6, which makes F+3 almost uninterruptible, and if you get a counter hit, then you get a wall splat. The lariat also gives you other good options, and I covered that in another video, so if you want to see it, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Change number 4, DF1+2. They changed it from 25 frames to 23 frames. Now this is a buff because one of Armor King's weaknesses is his lack of mid-homing moves, and this might be his only true one. But speeding it up by 2 frames really doesn't do that much. It's still a slow move, so for me it's only a minor thing. The only place where I think this might make a difference is after his 2-throw. On Forgotten Realm this breaks the floor, and from there you can tailspin. Now Cross Driver does the best damage, but you can also come out in other ways, and maybe those 2 frames might make a difference. Now I don't know for sure because combos isn't quite my thing, but if you do find something, let me know about it. Change number 5, Blackjack String. Opponent's behaviour changed when hit on the ground, and everyone stayed during the last hit. Now this doesn't seem like that much at first, but it's actually a bigger change than you think, and because of that I'm going to be covering it in a separate video. All I'm going to say for now is that it may have become his best wall combo, and if you want to find out why, make sure you subscribe. Change number 6, D3. They reduced the damage from 12 to 11 and changed the counter hit property. Now the first part is a minor nerf. 1 point of damage is next to nothing. The second part though is a major buff. On counter hit you're now at +9, so Giant Swing is almost uninterruptible. The only things they can do is standing jab, low jab or duck. To stop those you can use 1+2-2. This is mid, 18 frames, and you get all 3 stomps on hit. It also catches both side steps. Another option is F+4. Now this can be interrupted, but it puts you at +2 on block, and it still tracks side steppers. Now my only issue with this buff is that I'm not sure how often you're going to get this on counter hit. D3 is a move that you use for poking and Oki, so it may be difficult to set up, but a buff in any way is better than no buff at all. Change number 7, Shadow Step 2. This is his new move and it's a low from Dark Step. I'm not going to say too much about it because I'm going to cover it in a separate video, but what I am going to say is that I may have found one very good setup for this, so if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Change number 8, DB23. They changed it from -16 to -13 on block, and they reduced its pushback. They also shortened the recovery time on hit by 3 frames and changed the opponent's behaviour. Now the first part is both a buff and a nerf. -13 means that it's less punishable, but less pushback means that it's easier to punish, and because of that I think it's a bit more risky all round. The second part though is a clear buff. When the mid kick hits or DB2 is a counter hit, you get a special knockdown, and that's similar to 1-2 counter hit 1. From there, CD4 is uninterruptible, and if that lands, you get stomps or a guaranteed ground throw attempt. What you can also do is go for chain throws. This will give them a reason to duck, and they're still uninterruptible. Now if you're interested in chain throws, then I already did a video covering setups and Oki, so if you want to see that, there's a card in the corner and a link in the description. Change number 9, back +4 stunner. They fixed an issue where the move will shift to the throw when being hit from behind. Now this is basically a bug fix, there's nothing that significant to talk about it. Change number 10, up forward 3. They changed the property on counter hit. Now this is a buff. Before, up forward 3 would give you a stun, and your best damage was about 70. Now you get a proper launch, and that means you can take it up to 81. Change number 11, CD1. They shortened the recovery animation by 1 frame on hit. Now this is a buff. Before, you could only pick up with alley kick on a shallow hit. Now you can be a little bit deeper and still get a combo, and that means that this is now a long range plus frame launcher. I also think that it might make juggles a bit easier or more damaging or more consistent, but since I'm not a combo master, I don't know for sure. We'll leave that kind of thing up to J-King. Change number 12, CD3, can now be cancelled with back. Now this is a buff because it makes the move a little bit more usable. One place you might want to use it is after a wall bump. Here, people tend to just block because they're afraid of ducking and getting splattered again. And that means that if you do CD3 and they don't react quick enough, you get another wall combo. If however you think they will duck after seeing the sparks, then you can cancel the move and throw out a mid, like F+2-1. Putting all that together, I think it's clear that Armor King has been buffed. But he's been ninja buffed. If you look at the patch notes as they are, they don't really explain what Armor King has gained. They're very vague, and that means that any non-Armor King players who have just skimmed over them aren't going to be ready for some of the stuff you can now do. Now moving forward from here, I'll be doing a video on the new Shadow Sweep move and the Blackjack string as well, so if you want to see that when it comes out, make sure you subscribe. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, then give me a thumbs up. If you think I missed something out or got something wrong, then say so in the comments. There's more content coming, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and I'll see you guys in the future.